Everybody can please take their places, and if the Grand Lodge officers will be seated in front, and the past Grand Masters please line up along the dais.
Hey, who's the new guy? New guy. There he is. Uh-oh. Don't start. 17 more audits, that's all I need.
Here comes the late and Frere.
Right Worshipful Deputy Grand Master, if you please approach the east.
There you go.
Seems like there should be a drum roll or something.
Deputy, obviously, before you can be installed as Grand Master, you have to be properly attired, and it is my pleasure to present you with your Grand Master's apron.
You get to go too there, Deputy.
I'll leave it too.
Yep, you're leaving too. Brethren and friends, we are about to install the officers of the Grand Lodge and free and accepted Masons of the state of Michigan. Right Worshipful Grand Secretary.
Most worshipful sir.
You will read the names of the officers who have been elected or appointed to serve this Grand Lodge for the ensuing year. As their names are read, they will step forward to seats west of the altar.
From Fosteria in North Branch Lodge number 312, the Grand Steward, Larry Insko, and his wife Kathleen. From East Point in Composite Lodge number 499, the Grand Steward, Robert Troutman, and his wife Andrea. From Marquette, in Marquette Lodge number 101, the Grand Soul wife Susan. From Kalamazoo and Kalamazoo Anchor Lodge number 22, the grand musician Gerald E. Millar and his wife Jenny. From Howell and Okemos Lodge number 252, the Worshipful Grand Tyler Gerald G. Bloomquist and his wife Carol. Another new kid on the block. From Cedar Springs and Sparta Lodge number 334, the Worshipful Grand Marshal Robert E. Cooper and his wife Sharon. From South Haven and Matawan Lodge number 268, the Worshipful Junior Grand Deacon Mark A. Manning and his wife Linda. From Sterling Heights and Stony Creek Lodge number 5, the Worshipful Senior Grand Deacon David M. Hill and his wife Alice. See if you can outdo Mark. From Warren and Olive Branch Lodge number 542, the Right Worshipful Grand Chaplain and Most Worshipful Brother Dean A. Barr, past Grand Master, and his wife Cindy.
Pick one of us. Anyone.
I'm not jealous. I'm not. From Clarkson and Cedar Lodge number 60, the Right Worshipful Grand Lecturer Thomas Braun and his wife Karen.
Another shot, Alex.
Stay with them. Stay with them.
From St. John and Three Oaks Lodge number 239, the Right Worshipful Grand Secretary, Most Worshipful Brother Robert P. Conley, past Grand Master, and his wife Jolene. From Vicksburg and 40 Brady Lodge number 340, the Right Worshipful Grand Treasurer, Most Worshipful Brother Michael J. Jungle, past Grand Master, and his wife Rosemary. And Doric Lodge number 342, the Right Worshipful Junior Grand Warden Joshua M. Woodbuck and his wife Danielle. I can't wait to see this.
There you go.
From Brownstown, Solomon Key Lodge number 580, the Right Worshipful Senior Grand Warden William R. Finkel and his wife Clark. Now we know he's French. From Troy and Northwood Ancient Craft Lodge number 551, the Right Worshipful Deputy Grand Master Richard D. Wisely and his wife Elaine. And everyone please be upstanding. From Unison, Grand Island Lodge number 422, the Most Worshipful Grand Master William E. LeVeque and his wife Angela. And with that, you may be seated.
Most worshipful sir, I present to be installed as officers of the Grand Lodge of Free and Accepted Masons of the state of Michigan. For the ensuing year, these brethren who have been duly chosen and now declare themselves ready for installation.
Brethren of the Grand Lodge, you behold these officers, each of whom, having been duly chosen, now declares himself ready for installation. If you know of a valid reason why any one of them should not be installed, state your objection now, or forever after hold your peace. There being no objection, I will proceed with the installation. Brethren and friends, the first lesson that we are taught in Masonry is that no man should ever enter upon any great or important undertaking without first invoking the blessing of deity. Let us, therefore, before proceeding with this important ceremony, invoke the blessings of the Supreme Architect of the universe. Would all please rise? Thy worshipful Grand Chaplain, you will invoke the blessing of deity.
Most holy and glorious God, we approach thee with reverence and implore thy blessing on these brothers, elected and appointed to preside over this Grand Lodge. Fill their hearts with thy love, and their tongues and actions may proclaim thy glory. Make them steadfast in thy service. Grant them firmness of mind. Animate their hearts and strengthen their endeavors. May they teach thy judgments and thy laws and be thy true and faithful servants. Bless them, O Lord, and bless the work of their hands. Accept us in mercy. Hear thou our prayer, and grant our most earnest supplication. Amen.
For the worshipful Grand Marshal,
Most worshipful sir,
you will present the most worshipful Grand Master-elect at the altar of installation.
Most worshipful sir, I present to you my worthy brother, the Grand Master-elect, William E. LeVeque, for the purpose of installation.
Brother Bill, you are about to be installed as the 168th man over a period of 188 years out of a membership reaching into the millions to hold the office of Most Worshipful Grand Master of the Grand Lodge, Free and Accepted Masons of the state of Michigan. It is, my brother, a great honor to serve this Grand Lodge as its Grand Master. It's also a great responsibility. You are the leader of the fraternity. Whether we progress or decline, whether we work together in peace and harmony, or suffer from confusion and discord, will in a large measure depend upon you. You will set the direction of this Grand Lodge. I encourage you to always remember the cardinal virtues of our order: temperance, fortitude, prudence, and justice, and to always live by the tenets of brotherly love, relief, and truth. In addition to the fraternal side of your office, you have great responsibility for the business side of our fraternity. The Grand Lodge of Michigan and its subsidiary corporations make up a $160 million organization, and the Grand Master serves as its chairman of the board. As such, your fiduciary responsibilities to this Grand Lodge cannot be overstated. My brother, when you were installed as worshipful master of your lodge, you promised to uphold the ancient charters, regulations, and landmarks of this Grand Lodge, and you took an obligation. Do you once again promise to uphold those charges, regulations, and landmarks, and do you reconfirm that obligation?
I do.
and you will advance to the altar.
Don't do anything.
Come on, you can do it.
Advance and kneel at the altar. Say aye, pronounce your name in full, and repeat after me.
I, William Eustace LeVeque,
In the presence of Almighty God and these witnesses,
in the presence of Almighty God and these witnesses,
do solemnly promise and vow
do solemnly promise and vow
that I will accept the office
that I will accept the office
of Most Worshipful Grand Master
of Most Worshipful Grand Master
of the Grand Lodge
of the Grand Lodge
in the state of Michigan,
and the state of Michigan,
and faithfully
and faithfully
and impartially administer
and impartially
the
administer
duties of that high office
the duties of that high office
to the best of my
to
ability.
the best of my ability.
Further,
Further,
that I will not permit
that I will not permit
any rite or ceremony
any rite or ceremony
contrary to
or subversive of
our ancient institution,
our ancient institution,
but will support and maintain
but will support and maintain
pure and unsullied
pure and unsullied
the genuine tenets
the genuine tenets
and principles
and principles
of this craft.
of this craft.
Further,
Further,
that I will observe
that I will observe
and cause strict obedience
and cause strict obedience
to the Constitution, laws,
to the Constitution, laws,
rituals, and ceremonies
rituals, and ceremonies
of the Grand Lodge
of the Grand Lodge
of this jurisdiction,
of this jurisdiction,
and in all things
and in all things
conscientiously discharge my duties
as leader of the craft,
and as Grand Master of this grand jurisdiction.
and as Grand Master of this grand jurisdiction.
So help me God,
So help me God,
and keep me steadfast
and keep me steadfast
in this my solemn obligation.
in this my solemn obligation.
You will arise and be invested with implement of your office.
More march of steel. Cross. Swords.
My brother, having thus pledged yourself to the faithful discharge of your duties as the ruler of the craft for the ensuing year, you have been invested with the jewel of your office. By immortal usage and the irrevocable landmarks of masonry, you are now invested as Grand Master of Masons with the powers and prerogatives which are well nigh absolute. I would offer you but these words of admonition. The very consciousness of the possession of the great power will ever make a generous mind cautious and gentle in its exercise. To rule has been the lot of many, but to rule well has been the fortune of but a few. The office of Grand Master is one of great antiquity and respect, and is one of the highest dignitaries to which you may aspire. You should first never forget that although you now hold the office of Grand Master, you are first and foremost a Master Mason, and I solemnly enjoin you ever to walk and act as such. Would all Master Masons please rise? Most worshipful Grand Master, behold your brother. Brethren, behold your worshipful Master, worshipful Grand Master, and salute him with grand honors, taking your time from the Grand Marshal.
Would all Grand Lodge officers, DGPs, and DDIs please rise? Place your right hand over your heart and repeat the oath of fidelity. To the high purposes of universal masonry.
To the high purposes of universal masonry.
Brotherly love, relief, and truth.
Brotherly love, relief, and truth.
To the upbuilding of this Grand Lodge.
To the upbuilding of this Grand Lodge.
To the realization of its highest ideals.
To the realization of its highest ideals.
Character and of life.
Character and of life.
We here and now.
We here and now.
Pledge anew.
Pledge anew.
Our most earnest.
Our most earnest.
And unceasing efforts.
And unceasing efforts.
Amen.
Amen.
So mote it be.
So mote it be.
So the Worshipful Grand Marshal will present the remaining Grand Lodge officers in order for installation. The Deputy Grand Master will be installed by Most Worshipful Brother Don Conner.
Most Worshipful Sir, I present the Deputy Grand Master-elect Richard Wisely for the purpose of installation.
Most Worshipful Richard Wisely, you have been elected by your brothers to the second highest office and your duty as Grand Master, Deputy Grand Master, and you will now be invested with the jewel of your office. It is your duty to assist the Most Worshipful Grand Master in every means to your power, and in the absence of the Grand Master, you are to preside over this Grand Lodge. By virtue of the office, and you are a member of the Board of Directors of the Grand Lodge. You are also a member of the Board of Trustees of the Michigan Masonic Home and Charitable Foundation. As Deputy Grand Master, you are Chairman of the Future Programs Development Committee of the Grand Lodge. I would encourage you to learn to plan and prepare yourself for the next year.
Worshipful Sir, I present the Senior Grand Warden-elect, William Finkel, for the purpose of installation.
Brother Bill, you have been elected Senior Grand Warden of this Grand Lodge and are now invested with the jewel of your office, which is the level. The level demonstrates that we are all descended from the same stock, partake of the same nature, share the same hopes. And though distinctions among men are necessary to preserve subordination and resulting order, yet no eminence of station should make us forget that we are brothers, and that he who is placed on the lowest spoke of fortune's wheel may be entitled to our regard, because the time will come, and the wisest knows not how soon, when all distinctions but that of virtue shall cease, and death, that great leveler of human greatness, will reduce us to the same state. My brother, as Senior Grand Warden of this Grand Lodge, you too are a member of the Board of Directors, and also serve on the Board of Trustees of the Michigan Masonic Charitable Foundation. You are now, by virtue of your office, a member of the very important Investment Committee of this Grand Lodge, which is responsible for investing the funds of the Grand Lodge and its subsidiary corporations. We firmly rely on your knowledge of Masonry and your attachment to this Grand Lodge for the faithful discharge of the duties of your important trust. Look well to the west. Most Worshipful Sir, I have the privilege of presenting to you Right Worshipful Brother Joshua Woodway, Junior Grand Warden-elect.
Right Worshipful Brother Josh, having been elected Junior Grand Warden of this Grand Lodge, you are now invested with the jewel of your office, which is the plum. My brother, moving to Junior Grand Warden is one of the biggest transitions a Grand Lodge officer takes. You have made the big jump, as we've all called it. You are now a member of the Grand Lodge Board of Directors and a trustee of the Michigan Masonic Charitable Foundation. These are two very important positions. Your duties and responsibilities to this Grand Lodge have just greatly been increased. And I have no doubt that you will well and faithfully perform the duties of your important trust. Look well to the south. Most Worshipful Sir, I present to be installed as the Grand Treasurer, Most Worshipful Brother Michael Jungle, past Grand Master.
I hope so, that's what I got here. my Grand Master, my mentor, my friend, now you turn into a treasurer. Brother Michael J. Jungle, you have been elected Grand Treasurer of the Grand Lodge. You are now invested with the jewel of your office, which is the crossed keys, an emblem of security.
Who's the next one on top?
My brother is Grand Treasurer. You serve on the Board of Directors of this Grand Lodge, as well as the Board of Trustees of the Michigan Masonic Home and the Michigan Masonic Charitable Foundation. You serve as the treasurer of each of those corporations. The Grand Treasurer has charge of all the funds and vouchers of these bodies and is responsible for reporting the disposition of the same to the Grand Lodge. I trust your regard for the fraternity will prompt you to the faithful discharge of the duties of your office.
Most Worshipful Sir, I present Most Worshipful Brother Robert Patrick Connolly, past Grand Master, the Right Worshipful Grand Secretary-elect for the purpose of installation.
Most Worshipful Brother Bob, having been duly elected Grand Secretary of this Grand Lodge, you are now invested with the jewel of your office, which is the crossed pen, an appropriate emblem of your duties. Brother Bob, it is with mixed feelings and emotions that I relinquish these important duties of the Right Worshipful Grand Secretary from my hands to yours. You now become once again a member of the Board of Directors of this Grand Lodge. You're also a member of the Board of Trustees of the Michigan Masonic Charitable Foundation. Your good inclination toward masonry and to this Grand Lodge, I know, will induce you to discharge the duties of your office with fidelity, and by so doing, you will merit the esteem and applause of your brethren.
Most worshipful sir, I present the Right Worshipful Grand Lecturer-elect Thomas Braun for the purpose of installation.
Right Worshipful Brother Tom, you have been elected Grand Lecturer of this Grand Lodge and are now invested with the jewel of your office, which is the hexagram, more commonly known as the Star of David. Alice is pretty popular today. My brother, it is your duty to thoroughly acquaint yourself with the work and lectures of the 3 degrees of ancient craft masonry, according to the standards set by this Grand Lodge. You are responsible for the general supervision of the regional Grand Lecturers and District Deputy Instructors, and are also responsible for imparting to them and teaching them in the Michigan Masonic work. You have charge of teaching our ritual work during your term of office, subject only to the Grand Master.
Sir, I present Most Worshipful Brother Dean Aloysius Barr, past Grand Master, Right Worshipful Grand Chaplain for the purpose of installation.
Most Worshipful Dean A. Barr, you've been elected chaplain of this lodge, of this Grand Lodge. You are now invested with the jewel of your office, which is appropriately My brother It is your duty to perform those solemn services which should be presented and rendered by our infinite Creator. It is also your duty to attend in all the communications and conduct the religious services as established by the usages of ancient Masonry and this craft. Congratulations.
Sir, I present David Hill, Worshipful Senior Grand Deacon-elect for the purpose of installation.
This isn't a letdown for us. invest in the jewel of your office, which is a square encompassing closing a blazing sign.
All right.
It is your duty to attend upon the most worshipful Grand Master to act as his proxy in the act of discharge of the duties of the Grand Lodge. You are to see that the introductions and accommodation of visitors and of other duties that may be assigned to you. The impressiveness of our ceremonies will largely depend upon the dignity and efficiency with which you perform your duties. And I doubt not that the duties of this office in your hands will receive due care and attention. On a personal note, we do the honor of subbing for most worshipful Brother Robert Sanborn, a man we both greatly admire and respect, who could not be here today. So thank you for that honor. I would admonish you as gently as possible to devote a portion of your time this year to getting ready for the big jump, as we will be having some immense increase in responsibilities in the mission. Congratulations. Thank you.
Most worshipful sir, I present to you the the worshipful Junior Grand Deacon Mark Manning for the purpose of installation.
Brother Mark, you've been elected to the office of Junior Grand Deacon, and you'll be invested with the jewel of your office, which is a square compass, enclosing the half moon. The similarity of your jewel to that of the worshipful Senior Grand Deacon indicates in measure the similarity of your duties to his. You are the active proxy of the Grand Wardens, and it's your duty also see that the Grand Lodge is duly tied. I doubt not that you'll be diligent in the faithful discharge of your duties, but more importantly, you can give up all that stuff that you had to carry around as a Grand Lodge.
This way. Most worshipful sir, I present to you the new keeper of stuff, the worshipful Grand Marshal-elect Robert Cooper for the purpose of installation.
Brother Bob, you have been elected Grand Marshal of this Grand Lodge and are now invested with the jewel of your office, which is the crossed batons, an emblem of your authoritative directing power. It is your province to have charge of the Grand Lodge on all public occasions when it is in line of march, and you will therefore be responsible for the appearance of the Grand Lodge officers on those public occasions, both as to the manner and character of their dress, the dignity of their appearance, and the skill with which they perform the various evolutions prescribed by our Masonic ceremonies. And good luck with that. You should be ever attentive to the needs and commands of the Grand Master, and always be near at hand to see them duly executed. You are to assist the Grand Master by every means in your power, in the quiet and orderly disposition of this Grand Lodge, and in the conduct of its work. I have no doubt that your interest in the welfare of this Grand Lodge will prompt you to exercise your best endeavors to discharge properly the duties of your office.
Most worshipful sir, I present to you the Grand Tyler-elect Gerald Bloomquist for the purpose of installation.
Brother Gerald, having been duly elected the worshipful Grand Tyler of this Grand Lodge, you are now invested with the jewel of your office, which is the sword.
No, that's all right. This.
You are also now invested with the implement of your office. As the sword is placed in the hands of the worshipful Grand Tyler to enable him to effectually guard against the approach of cowens and eavesdroppers, and to suffer none to pass or repass without permission, so it should admonish us to set a guard over our thoughts, a watch at our lips, and post a sentinel over our actions, thereby preventing the approach of every unworthy thought or deed to our hearts, and preserving our consciences free of offense towards God and man.
At least I can play Mary Had a Little Lamb.
Is it on?
He left it.
Most worshipful sir, I present the Grand Musician appointed Jerry Millar for the purpose of installation.
Brother Jerry, you have been elected Grand Musician of this Grand Lodge and are now invested with the jewel of your office, which is the lyre. Not L-I-A-R-E. It is your province to preside over the musical part of our ceremonies, which add much to the overall impressiveness of our work. I have no doubt that you will diligently perform those duties as you have for the past 8 years when I first appointed you to the position. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Grand Warden thing don't work out for you, Bill, you turned it off on me.
Most worshipful sir, I present a new position, the Grand Soloist appointment, Brother Doug Wolf.
Brother
for
Doug,
installation.
you have been appointed Grand Soloist of this Grand Lodge and are now invested with a collar with nothing on it because he's right, we've never had a soloist before.
It's been a while then.
Yeah.
We'll work on that. Does she?
The apron that you're wearing is very similar to that of the Grand Steward, amazingly enough, which is a cornucopia signifying plenty, and I know that you have lots of music in your hut, so that's very appropriate. Our Grand Master has shown great confidence in you, and we know that your voice will add dignity, solemnity, and splendor to all of our activities. Congratulations, Doug.
Most worshipful sir, I present brothers Larry Anishko and Robert Troutman, Grand Stewards appointed of this Grand Lodge for installation.
Brother Larry and Brother Bob, you have been appointed Grand Stewards of this Grand Lodge, and are now each invested with the jewel of your office, which is the cornucopia. My brothers, the Grand Master has appointed you to this position because of your outstanding service to our fraternity. I have no doubt that you will continue to serve our fraternity, this Grand Lodge, and our Grand Master throughout the coming year. Congratulations, my brother, on receiving an honor bestowed upon very few of our monarchs. Would all the members of the Board of General Purposes please rise? If Dave wants to wake up, we'll install him too. My brothers, you have been duly elected by the lodges in your respective districts to a position of great importance in the structure of this Grand Lodge. As a member of the Board of General Purposes, you have an obligation to all of the lodges in your district. In addition to the legislative duties you perform for this Grand Lodge, It is also your duty to assist the lodges in your district by every means in your power. You are to be a mentor, an advisor, a leader, a teacher. You're there to help. The future of our fraternity does not rest with the Grand Lodge, but with each and every individual lodge. They are the foundation upon which all else rests. It is our job, all of our job, to make that foundation strong. I charge each of you to help in the strengthening that foundation, to exercise your best endeavors to discharge properly the duties of your office. For in so doing, you will merit the esteem and applause of your brother. My brothers, you may be seated. But all DDIs and regional grand lecturers, please rise.
My brethren, each of you have been elected or appointed as instructors of the ritual in this grand jurisdiction. It is your duty to teach the ritual as conveyed to you by me, the Grand Lecturer. It is therefore virtually important that each of you be thoroughly familiar with the standard Michigan Masonic work. This responsibility has been conferred upon you in recognition of your interest in our ritual, your zeal for the institution, and your willingness to be of service to your fellow brethren. I am confident that you will discharge the duties of your offices with fidelity, with honor to yourself, and with profit to our craft. Thank you.
This time I'd like to call on our new grand soloist for a song. Before we conclude the installation, I want to close with a charge that's read in or done in the installations in the Grand Lodge of Canada in the province of Ontario. And I borrowed this little part with their permission. If you see a man who quietly and modestly moves in the spheres of his life, who without blemish fulfills his duties as a man, a citizen, a husband, and a father, who is pious without hypocrisy, benevolent without ostentation, and who aids his fellow men without self-interest, whose heart beats warm for friendship, whose serene mind is open for licensed pleasure, who in vicissitudes does not despair, nor in fortune will be presumptuous, and who will be resolute in the hour of danger. The man who is free from superstition and free from infidelity, who in nature sees the finger of the eternal master, who feels and adores the higher destination of man, to whom faith, hope, and charity are not mere words without meaning, to whom property, nay, even life itself, is not too dear for the protection of innocence and virtue, and for the defense of truth. The man who towards himself is a severe judge, but who is tolerant with the debilities of his neighbors, who endeavors to oppose errors without arrogance, and to propagate intelligence without precipitation, who properly understands to estimate and to employ his means, who honors virtue, though it be in the most humble garment, who does not favor vice, though it be clothed in purple, and who administers justice to merit, whether dwelling in palaces or cottages. The man who, without courting applause, is loved by all noble-minded men, respected by his superiors, and revered by his subordinates. The man who never proclaims what he has done, will do, can do, but where there is need, will lay hold with dispassionate courage, circumspect resolution, unfaltering exertion, and a rare power of mind, and who will not cease until he has accomplished his work, but who then, without pretension, will retire into the multitude, because he did the good act, not for himself, but for the cause of good. If you, my brethren, meet such a man, you will see the personification of brotherly love, relief, and truth, and you will have found the ideal of a Freemason. At this time, Brother Grand Marshal, I'm going to put you to work. Would you escort Nancy Wolfrup and her daughter Dawn to the east, please?
Most worshipful Grand Master, on behalf of Dawn and Heather and myself, I want to present you with this.
Presented to William E. LeVeque, Most Worshipful Grand Master, handcrafted by Charles S. Winthrop Jr., past Grand Master.
And he finished it the 1st of March last year.
And we did his memorial service the day before Grand Lodge started last year.
Grandmaster, on behalf of your installing staff, we would like to thank you for the opportunity to participate in this installation today, and we wish you much success in the coming year. And as you've mentioned before, if you need any help from anybody on this dais, all you have to do is ask. Well, actually, we have one more piece of business, sir. You want to make that official?
Yeah.
All right. Would all Master Masons please rise?
In the name of the Most Worshipful Grand Lodge of Free and Accepted Masons of the state of Michigan, I proclaim Most Worshipful Brother William E. LeVeque, installed as the Most Worshipful Grand Master with the grand honors of Masonry, and those elected and appointed officers also installed. This I proclaim to the south, to the west, from the east. The brethren will take due and timely notice thereof, and govern themselves accordingly. Together, brethren, of 10 grand honors, taking your time from me.
Now it's official.
You know what? There you go. Oh, and that's the holder.
Happy is the man who has such sponsors. They sit here today, and my heart is overflowing. The Sir Knights who helped out with the guard, are there any still left? I know you had commitments during the day, but those who were part of the honor guard, would you rise and be recognized? Let's give a hand to these Sir Knights. We introduced the wives of our officers when we came in. Any of the Grand Lodge officers have any family that they would like to introduce who came with them that has not been previously introduced? I would like to just introduce my Stephanie, who flew out from Salt Lake and started me off at the altar with the song, Steph, would you stand? And as many of you know, family isn't necessarily blood. So I'd like to introduce my adopted family, Richard Holland, Senior Warden of Waybon Lodge 305, his wife Danielle, and the kids, Izzy and Aaron. And Thomas is out of the room. Thomas is the grandson that I've been waiting for, and he's taking care of our little Junie. Thank you for coming. I'd like to thank the installing officers for accepting the responsibility of making sure that we have continuity and continuing on this next year. Past Grand Master Lemons, would you rise, please? You're not completely clothed, my brother. First of all, customary tag, and I present you with your past Grand Master's jewel. This past Grand Master's jewel was worn by Most Worshipful Brother William Streknick. And need I say more, because the gasps tell it all. The man was a gentleman and a Mason time and time again in every body that he was a member of. And I need not talk about his virtues. He and I served together arm in arm in many bodies of masonry. And I know that by presenting this to my worshipful brother, most worshipful brother, Lemons, he will wear it with equal pleasure to himself and honor to Bill and the fraternity. And as is the custom of this Grand Lodge line, there's a thank you gift that goes with the service that you have rendered this year. We call it the small but distinguished pin. And it is my pleasure at this time to present that to you. been a pleasure to work with Ray this year, and I hope that he'll continue to answer his phone as I continue to call and say, what was that all about? Worshipful Brother Chuck Booth, front and center. Oh yeah, Brother Grand Marshal. You will bring my worthy brother to the east, please.
You don't have to take my side. A lot of work to do it.
He has no idea why he's here. Sometimes I'm able to pull off a little surprise right underneath a person's radar. In fact, that's what I'm good at. I'm pretty tough to surprise, but I can make it happen for others. Now, my worshipful brother Chuck was the fire chief in the city of Lansing for many years, and he's used to putting out fires. And he's used to taking care of other people and rescuing and helping. But he has a quiet, unassuming side that needs recognition. Because you see, my brother works with the Scouts, and he spent a lot of time in scouting, and he supports the Scouts locally, and he loves those guys, and he makes sure that the troop is successful. And he's in charge of our passage sales for the Scouts. And when he's not busily engaged in training others to be better in society, in their community, you can find him helping the Scouts. And Chuck, I am pleased and tickled to present you with a Masonic Award. It is called the Daniel Carter Beard Scouting Award, and it's a Masonic award specifically for men who work in scouting. The Daniel Carter Beard Masonic Scouter Award is awarded to Charles Nicholas Booth for outstanding service to youth and Freemasonry by serving as a dedicated member of Grand Island Lodge number 422 and a devoted scouting leader of Bay Lakes Council number 635 Boy Scouts of America. Witness to this hand by the most worshipful Grand Master. And I can tell you that I cannot go through his resume because we do not have enough time. Congratulations. I understand that there's a Bethel presentation. Is that true? Okay, we'll let that happen. Miss Stephanie, are you a part of that now? Why don't you come on up here because I got something for you. The marshal's starting to get the hint.
LeVeque, most worshipful Grand Master, on behalf of Bethel number 43 Precinct, Drugs Daughters International, we'd like to present you with this gift. It's not much, but I'm sure you'll be able to use it on your travels. We'd also like to say we're really proud of everything you've accomplished, and if you need help with anything this year, we're here for you. Just a phone call away.
Substance, nourishment, holy look. There's enough Slim Jims in here to get me to Alaska. I guess I'm not done. 30 second rule. I have our photographer busy today, and they prepared me by bringing me a photo album that needs to be filled. I suspect they're up to something, but I'm going to let them go on. I just can't get past the moment. You're going places. Is it? Yes. Miss Amy, you left this box here. I want you to open it. It's only got one piece of tape. I just can't imagine you being nervous. No, not this girl. Yeah, why don't you just read what it says?
It says Grand Lodge of Michigan Youth of the Year 2014, Amy Burley, Mason Bethel.
And along with that, here's a little travel money. I couldn't figure out why I wanted her to come, and I just really couldn't tell. Danielle, I forgot to make sure that you came up. Come on up. The two daughters, come on up, Sarah. This next gift I've been compiling for some 7 years. It doesn't seem like much, but it's taken a long time. And it was done every time I added to it. It was done with a lot of love. And I would like to present one to my biological daughter and one to my adopted daughter. It's a bracelet with the charm of every Grand Master we've had since I became a Grand Lodge officer. I think we're about close to being ready for remarks here. Happy is the man who has such sponsors. Now you understand. Family that's got your back, friends. It's going to be a wonderful year. As a lot of you know, some of you don't. I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, that are known as the Mormons. My faith is my life. I've been with my dear eternal companion for some 32 years. And she's journeyed and supported me through all this. And never once has flinched or been upset with anything that I did. She has a quiet demeanor that only a faithful, devoted wife can have. She's not below me, she's beside me. She's beside me on the lonely trips that I have downstate and back home. She stayed up many late nights to make sure that I got home. And once she hears the door close, then I hear her snore. I'm grateful for the comfort that she gives me. And I'm grateful for the many years of faith that she gives me and the prayers that she offers. Because I know many nights that's the only way that I get home. Are there any other presentations at this time? I understand the First Lady has one, and if you would like to do that down there, that would be just fine.
Is that live?
Hi, Angela. Hi. You're in for a wonderful ride. Angela and I have already shared many, many memories and hours together. And it's with great pleasure. This pin that I'm taking off and giving her is the First Lady's. This pin came about from Jan Cross. She had attended Grand Lodge out of state, and one of the ladies had her state pin as First Lady. This has been passed down through the years, ever since Jan was First Lady. And it's always been a quiet ceremony kind of off to the side. Well, being who I am, we decided that we wanted you to receive this pin in front of everyone, because it's because of the support that the wives give their husbands that they're able to do the job that they do. I know you will wear it proudly, and I relinquish it knowing that you're going to take good care of it. God bless you. Thank you.
Worshipful Master Joe Wallace, you will approach west of the altar also.
Banner for your lodge.
Brother Hans, I understand you have a presentation.
Most Worshipful Grand Master, it has been my honor to represent Most Worshipful Brother Norman J. Vick, the Grand Lodge officers and all the Masons of Ohio, at your Grand Lodge session this last couple of days. And it has been a thrill knowing the history that we've had together, knowing my grandfather and my father, and being on the small cabin on Train Lake, just not far from Wetmore, and all our history. But with that, I wish you the best of years as Grand Master. I was going to say enjoyable, but it seems like this group has a pretty enjoyable time, so I'm not worried about that. But this is from Patty and me, and my parents also send their love and best wishes.
Michigan with the seal of Grand Lodge, the Grand Lodge on it, and it says Grand Island Lodge 422 up in its appropriate geographical location. And most Worshipful Grand Master William E. LeVeque, May 21st, 2014, in that place that we call the Lord Peninsula. Are there any other presentations? Last call. Okay, very good. The Grand Marshal will have my pin. Make sure, board members, that you get your pins. I have a few in my pocket, and I'll continue to keep my pocket supplied. I want to explain my pin just a little bit. You'll see on my pin when you receive it that there's a heart where Munising is. Inside that heart is a square and compass. And the question that gets answered by all you brothers is, where were you first prepared to be made a Mason? And so I represented that on my pin. Now, because the Upper Peninsula took up most of the pin, I have to apologize profusely. And then because I spent a whole lot of time going across the Mackinac Bridge, I couldn't leave that off. So I put the Mackinac Bridge kind of like down in the right corner. And you know, I realized that after I got those two things on there, there just wasn't much room left. So, the Lower Peninsula is on there, but you're probably going to need a magnifying glass. I asked the guy that put the pins together if I could put a little picture of a troll on there, and he shook his head really hard. He says, no troll. So, the Lower Peninsula is on there, and I hope you enjoy it. It's a little fun, but it really does say that that's where my heart is in the big old Upper Peninsula. And the pin is me. It's the Grand Master's pin. And if you're offended, I apologize. Just wear the pin, okay? Thank you all for being here this day. It means a lot to me. Your support means a lot to me, every one of you. Every one of you have touched my lives in one way or another. And you will continue to do that, I know you will. And we will have a big year. And there will be bumps in the road, and there will be happy days, and there will be sad days, and there will be more deer trying to jump in front of my car. And everything will be well. And this gentle craft will move forward, and Masonry in Michigan will continue on. We've been here since the early 1800s, and I don't see us going anywhere but forward in the hundreds of years to come. Because where were we first prepared to be Masons? And that's where you will teach all the men who come in this fraternity to be Masons in their heart. Thank you so much. Grand Lodge officers, as we convene, you will head that direction for pictures. The photographer will direct us where he would like us for pictures. And I thank each and every one of you for being here for this installation. Safe travels, and God bless. Brother, please be seated for a moment. Senior Grand Deacon,
Most Worshipful Grand Master.
you will attend at the altar. Brothers, Brother Grand Chaplain, you will invoke the blessings of deity.
Supreme Grand Architect of the universe, we thank you for all the blessings that you have bestowed upon us in our gentle craft. We ask that you continue to watch over us as we return to our homes. And we ask that you help us to be mindful of the needs of others. Amen.
So Lord be. And now, by virtue of the power vested in me as Most Worshipful Grand Master of the Grand Lodge of Michigan, free and accepted Masons, I declare the 188th annual communication of this Grand Lodge closed.
Congratulations. Great being here.